Thank you so much. So my name is Pastor Chris Harris, here in Chicago, here with my wife, who's probably your biggest fan. And special thanks to the Wagners for inviting us to come. 4,900 people have been murdered in Chicago alone in black and brown communities, not including those who have been shot or wounded. And I'm pretty amazed that everybody talks about the violence in urban communities, but nobody really talks about the lack of investment in urban communities. President Trump said, you know, hey, black, brown people, what the hell do you have to lose? So I want to ask you, as an African American leader, if you become our president, what the hell do we have to gain?
So the next president has to have the best agenda for urban America ever. And it's imperative because we can't afford to keep going down the path that we're on. The worst part of my job is getting the phone call or the message that we've lost another young person to gun violence. And as I reflect on it, the worst part of that fact is that 9 times out of 10, when someone was shot, I know what they look like before I talk to their parents, before I see the story on the news. And that didn't just happen. There are patterns of exclusion in education, in housing, in health, in business, in the criminal justice system that all add up to why we are where we are. And there's the disinvestment that has happened in our neighborhoods and especially in areas that served communities of color. That deepens this. And frankly, it is not enough to replace a racist set of policies with a neutral set of policies and expect everything to just take care of itself. So in the same way that we worked in South Bend intentionally to direct resources where we thought they would make the biggest difference. And last night we had a gathering under the My Brother's Keeper initiative. Talk about the difference a president can make, the difference between what the White House was doing to call on cities to step it up in our service to young men and boys of color and what we have now. Because of that call from going back to President Obama before he left office, we were able to come together in South Bend and compare notes on what everybody from the Juvenile Justice Center to the mentorship programs to the healthcare community were doing to lift people up. We did it in a neighborhood center where we sent $5 million of investment to probably the poorest neighborhood in our city for a beautifully redone center. Partly because it was the right thing to do, but partly to send a message to the neighborhood that we believe everybody, especially those who've been left out, deserve that kind of investment. So we need to have consciously anti-racist policies in each of those fields: entrepreneurship, housing, education, health, and criminal justice. And we need a democracy that reflects it too. Otherwise, that as cynical as it was coming from a racist campaign like President Trump's campaign, that would be a devastating line because, you know, the other thing that's amazing to me about the way that white working class America was targeted by this president's rhetoric is that they were being told things that do not come as a surprise to black and brown America. That the rules can be rigged, that the government doesn't always have your back, that Democrats and Republicans have been letting you down, right? In a way, a lot of those folks are just late to the party.
That's right.
So we have, in order to win and in order to deserve to win, we have to have the best agenda for black and brown America ever, and we're committed to making sure that.